Cool. So thank you both for joining us here today, and obviously we have Mark now as well with us. So do you want to take a second quickly to introduce yourselves? Tell us what your game is, who you are.
Yeah. I'm Harry. I'm the lead programmer and only programmer of our game Animal Retribution. Do you want me to explain the game at all? Or?
Yeah, if you can do it.
The game it's a 4-player co-op, sort of class-based wave shooter. The objective of the game is to protect your barn from the evil onslaught of farmers.
Right, so Animal Farm, but the 21st century version.
Animal Farm, lovely
much.
notes of some communism in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm Ozzy. I'm one of the environment artists for the game, one of two. I focus more on props. I don't do like the VFX and most of the in-engine stuff, but I can answer some of the questions for it.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. So it seems we have character select, which has a number of different characters.
It does indeed.
Is there a meta? Should we have one of each?
There's the
Cow
try-hard
and
meta,
crow.
but honestly, they're all pretty decent. The sheep I'd say is the worst.
Okay,
you've got
cool.
your different archetypes. So the crow is sort of like the builder class, deploys turrets. The cow is the healer. Pig is basic infantry. The rabbit is the fast one, and then the sheep's sort of the tank.
Okay.
And what's the crow?
The crow, he places turrets. He's sort of the Overwatch.
Okay.
builds
Sniper.
turrets.
Scout.
More of like the engineer. Definitely my favorite.
So is this your actual first play of it? Like the first goes on camera? Excellent.
No pressure.
Nothing will go wrong.
If you want to press Y as well, you can see the abilities for your.
And how,
So
do,
presumably,
how do I
each,
choose?
How do you
just
choose
press
with A?
So,
Hey.
bottom one. So presumably, obviously they all have different abilities, and the intent there, I'm sure, is to have a nice mixed selection.
Nice choice.
Cool. Okay, so let's get into the game. Okay,
First things
so
first.
obviously we were talking over the wonderful intro that you guys have for kind of explaining, but this is our barn. There are many like it, but this one is ours, and things are going to try and break it.
Yes.
But does everyone else's barn have babies inside?
Metallic sheep, especially grown.
Especially. Okay. So I'm ready. I think I'm ready to get in.
So if you follow the dirt path, that should take you to approximately where the enemies will spawn. I'm on the bottom left. You can sort of see this bridge and the
I've
forest.
worked out how to move, which is pretty good for an old man on the controller.
We're
I tell
taking
you.
it. So your abilities are on your left and right bumper. So the cow switches from healing to damage on the left bumper, and its right bumper is an area of effect, damage increase and speed increase. The pig's left bumper is a charge, which damages enemies hit, and holding the right bumper digs up a healing item. Sort of a bit of self-sustain in there.
Cool.
And if everyone can press B when they're ready.
B. Yeah.
Yeah,
B,
cool.
okay.
So you'll see an arrow at the bottom.
It's got all
I think is
dark and
actually
moody.
bugged for the pig for some reason.
Yeah, 2 people played the pig.
But it will show where the enemies are for the cow and every class but the pig.
Oh, that is a lot more graphic than I initially anticipated.
Yeah,
it would be.
bacon everywhere. I mean, this is, yeah.
It was going to be more graphic. We didn't get time to add the flesh chunks we wanted.
So obviously, this has been made by more than just the two of you.
Yeah,
So what was the kind of composition of your team like?
artists.
Mainly artists. So we had
Right.
one designer, one programmer. Is it 6 or 7 artists?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
A few,
Oh, wow.
A bunch
Yeah.
of artists and then 2 development
dev
artists.
Okay, so a nice clump
Yes.
rather than a mix.
A good clump of
No,
artists.
100, definitely.
So we had artists to like do the characters and then props separately, and Lewis mostly worked in engine.
Yeah, we had our dev artist very lovingly take up animation, which he is not familiar with or comfortable with, but he did, I think, a really good job with it.
Oh, no, it's
And
really
milk
nice
VFX.
animations here. I love it.
Yeah.
It's
He
like
did
the
the-
toilet roll attack.
It's milk.
It's milk, we promise.
It's the
Oh,
cows
it's
healing
milk.
you.
Oh,
It's
right.
healing
That's
milk.
your healing
I thought I was
stream.
getting kind of rolled, you know?
Yeah, he did all the particle effects as well. So the milk was all him. The blood was mainly him. I believe one of our artists, Orlando, did some the 2D aspects of the particle effects.
Yeah, the sprites are drawn by
The sprites,
the
that's what I
artists, right?
No, it's cool. So what inspired you to choose this? What was kind of the inspiration or
Radical veganism? Or?
I mean, Animal Farm's always a really fun book to read, especially in English when you're sort of doing your GCSEs. It's a very prominent book. But I was, at the time, was playing a lot of Team Fortress. My favorite game mode is Man vs. Machine, so it was a very heavy inspiration. So we're just trying to find that sort of blend.
Yeah.
Especially one of my other favorite things about Team Fortress 2 is how expressive and fun the characters are.
Yeah.
And I thought animals would be a really good way to portray that.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a long history of sort of animals being used in games to kind of do war stuff. So obviously worms, stuff like Hogs of War. These are old games. It's fine.
Don't say that.
But yeah, so it's nice. It's kind of a long line of tradition of battle animals. Yeah, are we ready for the next wave?
I believe so.
I'm ready.
Top right.
Top right.
Press B.
B.
B,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
So
I love the moody. It's got all dark and
the
moody. Yeah.
that was made by our brilliant designer, Hardwin.
Rock pig.
Did all the sound effects, all the music.
I think I'm being attacked by something. Help.
Shoot back.
Shoot back. Ah. So now you see why I never use a controller.
No, it's nice. So, in terms of the kind of environment and the design that you have for this, was that sort of inspired by anything in particular, or was it just sort of a, process of playtesting and saying, yeah, what kind of works, what doesn't?
So we originally, decided on a sort of 3-lane concept, which is found in most games anyway. If you think to like the Counter-Strike to Dust 2 philosophy, they're four boxes, but they follow a 3-lane concept. Same with MOBAs. So we really had that sort of idea of we want 3 paths for the enemies to take, so give a bit of variation in their movement.
Yeah.
As for the farm itself, we interviewed a couple of farmers that we luckily had contacts with. As we are in Cornwall, it's a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And we sort of got an idea of what would be on a farm, what sort of layout approximately a farm might take.
Hyper-realism.
Yeah, we did our research as much as we could.
Yeah. No, that's good. In terms of, obviously, the scope of this is pretty ambitious considering, you had a very little amount of time to, develop, 5 different characters and, put together the map, all the mechanics, all the art, animations and everything else. So it's a very ambitious project. If you were to, knowing what you know now, having gone through the process of making this, what would be the kind of key points that you would consider changing, reworking, or do you think actually no, this is kind of what you had envisioned and you're actually quite happy, kind of?
There's a fair few things I'd rework. I must have done every one of these gameplay pieces about 3 or 4 times during development, reworking them, making them work better and smoother. A big thing I'd focus on, if I were to do it again, would be the AI. It's not my strong suit. I did what I could with it, but it does fall short in a couple places. And this was made in Unreal Engine, which doesn't have the best framework for split-screen games. So all of that I pretty much had to do from scratch. So there's definitely some bits that I would maybe go back and reconsider. We did toy with the idea of having multiplayer, but that wasn't scopable in the slightest.
Yeah, it's pretty well scoped, all things considered. Obviously,
This
it is
is
ambitious,
plush.
but
This is,
like you've got it all here. It works. It's here. You've done it.
And I'm learning how to use a controller.
If you'd like to as well, you can go back to the barn and there's a billboard to the left of it. You can change your characters. I'd recommend doing that
Cool.
during the sort of rest periods.
Yes, rather than in the middle of.
Because it does take the whole screen up, which was an issue with Unreal's sizing.
Yeah. The joys of widgets.
I'm not touching UI next year if I can avoid it.
Yes, yeah. I don't think we actually formally said, but what year for people watching?
We are
second year.
Second years.
Oh, this is, I had presumed you were third.
I'll take that as a
Oh,
compliment.
thank you.
Yeah.
Throughout this process, what would you have said is probably the biggest challenge that you had faced?
There's various challenges, definitely a lot.
We lost Josh.
We did. We lost our second programmer really early on due to some issues he had. So obviously all the programming then was left onto me, which was a task, but was motivated enough to see the game through. And then because of how the second year course is structured, the Gartists, we're a very heavily Gartist-based team, didn't have the sort of time to dedicate to it. So a lot of the artwork had to be, rushed is the wrong word, but it had to be put in later in development than we originally had planned.
Yeah.
Those are definitely the heaviest challenges, along with having our dev artist Lewis having to relearn animation and try and apply that to this game.
Right.
Did we already kill the boss?
Yeah.
We did.
Oh man, one spoke about
The
it.
cow does kind of shred it, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, apart from my ineptitude, this plays really well.
Can we mention his name? Sirloin.
His name is Sirloin with
Because
his
he's a
filet
butcher.
mignons,
Okay.
which was an amazing joke. I think that was made in like the second week by our designer. That stuck instantly.
It definitely has a little bit of like Conquer vibes. Which for those that know, they know. No, and that's good. I'm not going to ask the same question that I asked most groups, which is if you had to describe your game as a single animal, what would it be? Because I feel like that one might be a bit on the nose.
Yeah.
So instead, if you had to describe this game as a color, what color would it be?
Green,
Green?
And what would it smell like?
lavender, or these lovely Cornish flowers, which I have no idea what they're actually called.
Which has surprised me. I thought you were going to say something else, being a farmyard and everything.
Yeah.
But okay.
No.
Yeah, that was a risky question.
Lovely lavender smells. The manure is kept far away.
No, I mean, you could have said something more like daffodils, you know, tie in with the,
Corn,
you know,
a lot of
but-
corn here. The rabbit's quite a fun one.
Yeah, we didn't get any footage of the rabbit, actually.
These are all like movement based, so you've got
Right.
both his abilities are jumps. His right ability damages enemies in an area. So the sort of gameplay there is you jump in and then jump out.
Oh, it's good you showed us that, because that really is a different animation and different technique. And
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah, I
some-
forgot about the rabbit. We had a lot of
You can always go check.
different characters. So if you had to wish list one thing that you could have done differently or added, what would it be? What's that one thing that you really wish you could have had time to include?
An upgrade system.
Upgrades?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the loss. Would have really liked to have added we got some really lovely feedback like 2 weeks before demo day, unfortunately. And it was something we'd originally scoped for and then taken it out because of scope. That was in the daytime, have something to do, have more interaction,
Yeah.
make that more of a gameplay mechanic. And that was just, even if it's just like upgrading the like firing speed, the damage, just to allow the player to reach the end easier.
Yeah.
I think would have definitely pushed that game just a little bit further.
Yeah, okay. Even maybe costumes. I want to dress up my
Hats.
pig. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hell yeah, definitely some hats with some floating particle effects. Really lean into the Team
Yeah,
Fortress.
some nice emissive, you know, spray painting things. Yeah, the whole shebang.
Well, that was a really impressive game. I really liked it. And it's the first time I've seen this game. And I see a lot of games through GA, and this is the first time I've experienced it. And it was really impressive. I really
very
liked
much.
it. Yeah.
Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
really
So, obviously, final kind of thing. Where can people, if they want to play Animal Retribution, obviously they can play it hopefully on the Expo floor, but where else can they find it if they want to play it, if they want to check it out?
It's currently hosted on my itch page, which I believe will be under the title Animal Retribution. And then through the Games Academy Expo collection, you can find that. Or our various portfolios, I'm sure by the end of this week we'll have them all uploaded. So you can find them there.
Cool.
Yeah,
Excellent.
nice. Yeah,
Anything else you want to shamelessly plug? Well, you have the
go
chance.
for it. This is your high
The wonderful
moment.
esports course and Atal for setting this up and having us.
Yeah.
Do games at Falmouth.
That was Games Academy.
No, cool. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really nice to talk to you. Really nice game. I was genuinely impressed. I did think it was a third year game. So well done for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.